PushGapRadio.com, Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth.
The next bitch I hear call this generation lazy, you gotta see me. Because bitch, when the pandemic happened and all the essential workers were forced to go to work, we got to see exactly who the fuck y'all think is an essential worker. Now tell me why ain't most of the motherfuckers cannot afford to pay their lights, water, car notes, insurance, bills, gas, whatever the fuck, all the basic shit, some internet, have enough money left over to put some in savings so you can actually save and invest, and also have enough left over to just have in your fucking pocket, and then also have enough left over to maybe take a small vacation every month. And if anybody heard me list all that shit and you was like, man, you asking for too much, your ass got to see me too, bitch. Because to me, that sound like a basic ass life. And you know why? Because the same bitches that are called people lazy for asking for a fucking higher minimum wage or more hours or goddamn just asking for anything different than what they got. Them same people will tell you to invest with what money, bitch? Them same people will tell you to save with what money, bitch? Them same people will tell you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. What fucking boots? I ain't even got socks on. So nah, cuz it's not that the millennials and Gen Z and all the motherfuckers alive today don't want to work. It's that they see that bullshit ass dream y'all selling about working hard ain't gonna fucking get you nowhere. Cause you could be working hard and jogging in motherfucking place. Y'all asking people to work hard and run full speed in place. But what they saying is, I don't mind working hard if you actually gave me some shit that if I worked hard on, it would become something. Here go the real problem. You old motherfuckers have been selling people a fucking dream and they was buying it for years. But now that people done stopped buying that bullshit, now they the problem.
PushGapRadio.com in Dallas and Fort Worth. Welcome to another edition of Shaka Full One in the main event with Jackie O. What's the business?
What's up, everybody? It's good to be back.
It is always good to be back. One of my biggest pet peeves is these folks who run around here and keep calling the American workers lazy. I listened to a couple of people out on social media, influencers, if you will.
Right.
And it's like once they get the bag and make their money, now they become like the capitalists and the elitist. Now all of a sudden everybody's lazy. Nobody wants to work, this, that, and the third. You never consider that we did not send ourselves home during the pandemic.
Right.
And then what made it so sad to me is the fact that you start making more money on unemployment than you made at your job.
Yeah, that was some stuff. But, you know, what a lot of people fail to realize is some people have been, successful in their careers and really haven't had the struggle that others have had.
Right.
A lot of people are not realizing that even though there are an abundance of jobs, these jobs are not really paying any wages, especially with the increase in the cost of living nowadays.
Right, because anytime you ask them how much they pay, and nobody ever has a response for that part.
Yeah, I know people that are working 2 full-time jobs just to make ends meet. And it's not like they're living extravagantly or anything like that.
Exactly.
So if you have a job that's only paying $10 an hour or whatever, who can live off of that? You can't pay rent off of $10 an hour. So,
right.
So of course there's going to be an abundance of those type of jobs that are out there. But then with them letting the migrants in and giving them work visas, well, $10 an hour to them is a lot of money.
Yeah,
so
from where they come from.
Yeah,
exactly.
So they're helping to keep driving the cost of wages down.
Yep, for everybody.
Excuse me. Yes.
Why Americans don't want to go to work is not because they're lazy. America has sold us the American dream for decades, okay? And now that people don't buy into the bullshit, all of a sudden we're lazy. Think back to the thing where when black people were no longer slaves. Mm-hmm. Once we weren't working for free, all of a sudden we damn lazy. Okay? And that's what the hell it comes out to. And again, I'm not going to call any names for these people that I watch, and they're black people. But now that you secured the bag, all of a sudden everybody's lazy. This comes from the auto workers.
Mm-hmm. The strike.
Yep, that I was listening to them talk about. And, one person on TikTok made the statement that the government created 2 things, mm-hmm. the IRS and classism. Okay.
I have issue with this comment, particularly about the comment that Americans are lazy. The majority of Americans are not. If anything, they are overworked, underpaid, and overstressed. In a study done by the OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the United States was ranked third, right under South Korea and Chile, for the most stressed out country in the world. To even afford living under a roof, you have to have more than one stream of income. Some have two, I've had three at one point. And the use of prescribed antidepressants in the United States have been rising, as well as diagnosed rates of anxiety, particularly with 18 to 25-year-olds. And please note that a lot of these stats were pre-pandemic, and with intermediate case studies, the number has been rising. And with many apartments no longer offering a kitchen, making food is virtually impossible.
And that's who's lazy. These people who work on Wall Street, you venture capitalists, the government, you're the one that's lazy. Okay, it's like you said, you don't want to pay. And then a lot of people were getting ghosted on jobs. You said it was a ton of jobs out there. Mm-hmm. People would put in resumes and people would go to interviews and then you'd never hear back from the people, this, that, and the third. Okay, and it's like you said, the immigrants are the ones who are driving down. And that's what America wants. The immigrants are going to be driving down wages. But America was built on free or cheap labor.
Right.
This is how they make their money. And if you turn on the news, you'll see on any news you watch, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, that they all want you to believe that the reason why many Americans are not going back to work is because they're lazy. Okay, and it's not laziness. That's not the reason why people ain't working. Okay, one issue, again, it's the low wages. People are barely making it. How many different jobs do most people have today?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You work your regular job. You may work a part-time gig job like Uber or Uber
other
Eats
side hustle
or some other side hustle that you got going on. And you got to do all this in order to maintain.
And then think of all of these college graduates. They spend all of this money on student loans and whatever.
Yeah.
Getting these degrees. They graduate and then can't find jobs in their field. Mm-hmm. So that definitely is not laziness. That's something else that's lacking somewhere.
And then you want me to have a master's degree, a double master's degree. You want me to have all this crap for $15 an hour. Mm-hmm. Okay? The math ain't mathing.
Keep hearing over and over how people just don't want to work these days.
All right, so you're going to want to go ahead and pull out your calculator, hit save, because we're going to do some math together. I absolutely love this guy because he does the same thing I do. It's not a millennial thing. It's not a boomer thing. It's not a Gen Z thing. Those are labels that people are trying to give us to keep us separated. It is an American worker thing. Nationwide, the average rent is $1,000 a month. Nationwide, the average car note is about $600 a month. Nationwide, the average pay is about $12 an hour. 12 times 40 is $480 before taxes. Averaging out 4 weeks in a month, that's $1,920. Even if you do the math and bring it up to $15, $16, $17 an hour, the numbers don't always add up. Yet you still keep hearing companies complain that nobody wants to work. The idea that this generation is lazy is silly, because it's not just the young kids anymore, guys. When so many of us lost our jobs because of COVID, I was looking for anything myself. I mean, there are people working at restaurants who can't even afford to eat at the restaurant they're working at, and you want to call them lazy. People working in healthcare that can't even afford to take their kids to the doctor. And people working for retail stores that they can't afford to shop at. It's not a matter of work ethic. Just ask yourself, if you wouldn't do it for that price, why do you expect someone else to do it? If you're recording record profits and your company is a revolving door of people coming in and out, common sense tells me it's pretty clear to see where the problem is. It's the old phrase, you get what you pay for, and companies are starting to realize they're getting what they pay for.
Okay, so yeah, they realize the problem. You making this money, and it's just not enough to survive.
Right.
And another thing with me was you had these, I think she's the CEO of Chrysler, Stellantis, they call it today. Mm-hmm. And during the interview, the lady asked her, why do you get a 46% raise, but your workers get a 6% raise. She talking about, well, because productivity is up, this, that, and the third. Chick, you the one who work in the office.
She's getting all those bonuses.
You taking home $30 million, okay? You taking home $30 million freaking dollars because productivity is up. If productivity is up, what about the guy that's putting the engine in the car?
Share the wealth.
What about the person that's putting the windshield in the car, the transmission in the car?
Right.
See, everybody is valuable to the company, from the janitor to the CEO.
You know, and I'm going to have to look this company up. There was a company in Houston, 2 years, they proved what an employer is supposed to do. The first year, their employees hit this quota, everybody got new cars. It didn't matter if it was the janitor,
right,
all the way up to the president of the company. They gave them a challenge. The next year, if they meet these goals or exceeded these goals, they were going to get a bonus. The next year, they hit it during their Christmas little celebration.
Right, I remember that
Every
company.
single person, including the janitors, got $100,000 bonus.
Because they said that after they hit their point throughout the year, everything that came in profit after that, they put in a separate bank account. They never told the employees. They just invited them to the Christmas party. But once we hit our point where we made our money for the company, this was our goal for the year, to make, I don't know, 50 million.
Right.
Once we hit 50 million, everything that started coming in after that went to another bank account, and then they start giving, like you said, the bonuses out at the Christmas party.
I need to look them up and see what happened after that, because they were going to continue it, but I haven't seen anything about it since then. But it was like, that's what you do as a company.
That's what you're supposed to do. Only 53% of Americans feel appreciated by the companies for who they work for. A Gallup poll revealed that only 1 in 3 American workers have received any acknowledgement or appreciation in the prior 7 days. This is, in a word, terrible. Everyone deserves to be acknowledged for their work. And they say, well, people get a paycheck. Isn't that appreciation enough? But the answer is no. 40% of employed Americans would put more energy into their work if they were recognized more.
Right.
The lack of recognition and engagement is driving 44% of employees to switch jobs. Now, they say that most people leave their jobs due to bad management and bad supervisors. I can believe that.
Yes, because I had a relative that just did that last week. She called me so distressed because of a new manager that they had brought in that has just made her work life a living hell.
Yeah. So I just get tired of hearing the thing of people being lazy and entitled and people out here busting their ass.
And a lot of people actually stepped out on faith and started their own businesses. You have so many innovative, smart people with so many great ideas and so much talent that a lot of people just got fed up and just said, forget it. Let me just go out here and step out and see what happens. I mean, there have been some, failures, but there have been a lot of success stories.
Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Trump sent out that stimulus money and that enhanced unemployment. That's how people were able to start
took
their
advantage
own jobs
of it.
and starting things online, this, that, and the third. And soon as Bush and them got into office, they got rid of all that because then the companies came to them and started talking about the fact that, well, we can't get people to come to work because you giving them this money and they lazy. They want to sit around and watch Netflix and play Call of Duty all damn day.
But the more people that pay that work, you have to pay into taxes. Therefore, he have more money to send to these other countries for all of these wars and all of these different things that he's funding outside of the United States instead of taking care of your own people.
Yeah. Now, they say that a formal employee recognition plan, which often don't cause a damn thing, improves productivity by 14%.
It does. Happy employees are productive employees.
Yep. And a lot of it doesn't cost money because, to me, people are motivated by 3 things: money, recognition, and time off. I'm a time off person myself.
Yes.
8 hours to work, 8 hours to sleep, 8 hours to live your life. Now, there are a lot of countries around the world that give a lot of time off.
Yes.
Over there in Europe and whatnot.
The United States is the second worst state country when it comes to vacation time off.
Yeah.
Europe is the best. Overall, In South Korea, they get 31 days of vacation, automatic.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you just started today, if you're a janitor, or what the case may be. If you started working for them, you automatically get 31 days off.
Right.
Germany requires 30 days. The UK requires 28. Japan mandates 26. And this is just vacation PTO days.
Right.
They also get an additional 13 days in national holidays.
Yep.
And in Europe, you don't get to, or you don't have to spend your bill money on your vacations. When it comes time for them to go on vacation, they get an additional check equivalent to their personal check.
Exactly.
To spend on vacation, because they don't want them to spend it on, to be spending their bill money, but they want them to enjoy their time off.
Yes.
Because they recognize that if you don't give your employees the ample time off, they'll get burnout.
To re-energize themselves and whatnot. In America, it's just work harder, work harder. The reason you poor is because you don't work hard enough. And you've been feeding us this line of bullshit forever. And people realize that no matter how hard you work, the moment I get a little bump in pay or whatever, you're going to raise the prices on shit.
Exactly.
Okay?
It seemed like don't nobody want to work no more. Every time I go to a goddamn interview, a manager tell me that it just seemed like don't nobody want to work. Don't nobody want a job. Well, bitch, I was looking at the invoice, and the qualifications that you was asking for to make that little baby ass money was a little bit much. I wouldn't have applied either. Bitch, you want a motherfucker to goddamn fight Thanos, get all 7 of the Infinity Stones, solve all Scooby-Doo's mysteries, turn Arnold head from a football to a basketball, find Caillou bald ass a strand of hair. You want a motherfucker to balance the checkbook of the United States of America. All that. You want motherfuckers to have super master's degrees, because bitch, a master's ain't enough. They want your degrees to have a cape on it when you walk in, bitch. You want all that to make $15 an hour, to make that teenage ass money. Bitch, that is a motherfucking kid allowance. Gas and groceries is gonna eat through that money. That ain't paying no real bills. If a motherfucker gotta sit up here and steal to sustain themselves, even with having a fuck ass job working 100 hours a week, bitch, you got me fucked up. You got me fucked up. Goddamn, I am dodging lawsuits to keep these lights on. You know how the saying goes, right? They say money talks. Well, your money ain't saying a damn thing, bitch.
And the moment I get any kind of step ahead, you're gonna turn around and you're gonna find a way to snatch that back from me. Because you said it was one. You said it was one country. They give you time off to spend the bond with your dog.
Yeah, I didn't look it up yesterday or this week when I was gathering my materials. But yeah, I've seen it before. There are certain countries that like we have. I mean, not countries. Country that give their people. They call it paternity.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like FMLA or maternity leave for mothers when they have their babies. Well, this is paternity, so that when you get a new animal or a new dog or a cat, you can bond with them. Yeah. And you can spend that time to bond with them.
Yeah. Now, Carlos Hollins, the 47-year-old Mr. Hollins of Detroit, like you said, just started with Ford Motor back in July. And he's at the low end of the pay scale. Now, the person that I was listening to was going on and on and on about how the employees at the auto workers places were selfish and entitled and lazy. But what you didn't look at is what these people gave up back in 2008 in order for these companies to stay afloat and don't have to get a bailout and don't go bankrupt. Okay? And they were promised concessions that would be restored when the company recovered. Okay. And during that time, did you give up your private jet? Did you give up your house on the beach? Did you give up your bonuses? Executives? Did you give up any of your shit while these people was giving up major concessions to help the company? Now you're supposed to turn around and give them their concessions back. And you just don't want to do it because it becomes greed. All you care about is the stockholders. All you care about is executive bonuses. And again, everybody's job in a company is important. That's why a lot of times when a football team in the NFL wins the Super Bowl, everybody gets a ring. The equipment manager, that may not be as gaudy as the owner or the players, but they all get something because everyone contributed. It's the same thing with any company, you know?
That's what I used to like about Herb Kelleher, you know, one of the CEO founders of Southwest Airlines. Back during the time in his heyday, you would see Herb out on the tarmac slinging luggage with the baggage handlers. He would be on the plane, you know, helping the flight attendants serve stuff. I mean, he was one that really jumped in there and had the memory of an elephant. If he met you and you told him what your name was, you could see him 6 months later and he's going to remember your name. I mean, he was a great example of what a leader should be.
Yeah, because leadership is action, not position.
Yes. We had a real quick, we had an event in San Antonio one year, and he was dressed like Elvis because he would always be the life of the party. Yeah. And he got word that one of our people from another city had gotten arrested because he was drunk and they had put him in jail. Herb left the event dressed like Elvis, went and took care of business and got this man out. I mean, he was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, when I came home and you was crying because he had passed away.
Yes.
And I thought that was odd until, you explained to me, and I've talked to other people from Southwest Airlines who speak very highly of Mr. Kelleher. And that's how you run a company. Yes. Like the people who gave out the bonuses, like Herb Kelleher. And I'm from Gary, Indiana. But I used to see commercials and whatnot about Southwest Airlines. And I used to always think that's a great way to run a freaking company. Now, back in 2008, the United Auto Workers president Ron Gettelfinger said the union would allow General Motors, Ford Motor, and Chrysler to delay billions of dollars in payments to a retired. Now, this is what the auto workers gave up to help these companies, okay? He said that to delay billions of dollars in payments to the retiree healthcare trust and suspend controversial job banks that pays laid off workers. The union would also consider other cost-cutting changes. Okay, and that the union's announcement, it came a day after GM said it faced insolvency by the end of the year without a $4 billion federal aid and needed billions more in 2009. Chrysler needed $7 billion, or it would run out of cash early in 2009, and Ford requested a standby line of credit because it needed $9 billion. And they said everyone was going to have to tighten their belt, including the UAW. And then they reached a tentative agreement in February on concessions. The Obama administration demanded concessions from workers at GM and Chrysler as part of the viability plan that companies must present in exchange for government bailout loans. And again, they took the cut for the retiree health care fund, and that's Ford stock was trading at around $2, and they just gave up so much and they saw what happened to the steel workers. They took a pay cut of $1 an hour and gave up the cost of living allowance, and they gave up lump sum bonuses, and those bonuses were negotiated back in 2007. They gave up receiving time and a half pay only for workers beyond 40 hours in a week. And they reduced their break time from 48 minutes to 40 minutes on an 8-hour shift. And 10-hour shifts got 50 minutes. And they worked on an alternative work schedule. So they gave up a lot. Christmas bonuses. They gave up the option of receiving pay in lieu of vacations and whatnot. So they gave up a lot, but these people never get on here and talk about the damn executives. What the hell did they give up? What did they give up in order to help the company, or when they did get the bailout money or the money from this? And it always reminds me of the movie All About the Benjamins with Ice Cube. Okay. You remember when him and, well, it was Reggie, but him and Day found the, I know you probably don't remember shit, but
I don't remember lines like you.
I know, I love movies. But here's what it reminds me of with the auto workers, okay, when it comes to these executives and whatnot. When Ice Cube and Day found the diamonds in the fish tank, when they found the dead white lady upstairs in the bathtub, okay, and Ice Cube got him, he poured them out, and they playing with the diamonds. And so he said, well, man, I'm going to do so-and-so and so-and-so. They say, yeah, book them, but I thought you said you was gone. He said, yeah, but now that I got them. And it was the same way here to me with the auto workers. Okay, we're going to pay you back these concessions. We're going to give you back this. We're going to give you back that. But just as soon as you got it, all that changed. And you don't think that the workers are worthy of getting their concessions back, of getting a bump on top of that for helping you. And it just shows what capitalism is about. Free or cheap labor. You want the people at the top to get all the bonuses and pay and whatnot. And what you don't realize, yet again, from the janitor to the CEO, everybody makes the company run.
Well, and the thing about it, too, is now they have to worry about artificial intelligence because these robots are coming along and they're going to take over, especially with these electric cars. So, you know, that kind of weakens their bargaining power a little bit because while they're doing this, of course, you know, these executives have people behind the scenes that are strongly looking into getting these robots, because that's part of their negotiation deal too, is with AI. But AI is not going anywhere. From the things that I've seen, that's just going to get stronger and stronger. It is. So it's going to be a lot harder to negotiate things when you have to think about, you know, eventually you're going to have a robot that's going to take over your whole entire job. They're not going to even need you anymore unless you're able to
upgrade your skills.
Upgrade your skills
learn
by being able to
computers or something of that nature. Right. And again, that's why they bringing in all the immigrants, because they trying to undercut your pay. And truth be told, them damn electric cars going to be made in China, because China kind of kicking ass when it comes to the EVs right now. But that is what's going to replace you. Right now, the auto workers are in the 5th week of the strike. And I believe that what's going on is the auto workers are trying to wait them out. They get $500 a week. And, you know, that ain't no kind of money compared to what they was bringing in.
And they're going to add more and more workers to the strike. So, because right now, they're not just like everybody's on strike. But as the negotiations drag on, they're going to add more and more people because they know that at some point the companies are not going to be able to can afford to have too many people off. Exactly. Right now they can still operate
because that affects suppliers and
it affects
other businesses around that support them, like restaurants and things of that nature. But the thing that gets me is everybody think that the American worker is supposed to just work like a damn slave. And again, the reason you're not making it, the reason you're poor is because you don't work harder.
Greetings, words of Muhammad Yam's creation. Random thoughts. I keep hearing, you know, Americans don't want to work. Americans don't want to work. There are a lot of jobs and nobody wants to take them. I think that's a bunch of BS. The issue that we have is not that Americans don't want to work. The problem that we're having is that you don't want to pay Americans properly for when they are working. With the cost of inflation and everything rising, how is $10, $15 an hour going to be able to help somebody sustain living? The cost of a modern apartment nowadays is almost $1,500 on the minimum for a 1-bedroom, 800 square foot apartment. How can somebody with a family be able to survive with $15 an hour? However, the greed mentality that America has is that the man on top wants to continue to live his life, nothing changed, so whatever's going on, he has to increase his, and the man at the bottom has to suffer. Yet you still want him to work the same amount of time, but be paid less. How is that fair? So when you get a situation like that, most of us just refuse to work and say, you know what, I'll figure something else out. Instead of going to work for someone who's not going to pay me my work. And then those who are being able to pay the $200,000 plus positions, you still don't want to pay them. So again, it's the greedy mentality that's trickling down that's going to have a bad effect in the long run because you do not want to pay a man what he's worth. Again, the saying is an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. Yet, you want an honest day's work, but don't want to do an honest day's pay. Just my random thought, Yusuf Muhammad, Yam's Creation. What are your thoughts?
It's always you should work harder. You should work harder.
And then they want you to work until you're 70 years old. Then you only have a good, 5 to 10 years
maybe
life expectancy
maybe.
After that. So you work your whole entire life just to retire. And then at that point, you have so many ailments usually that you what kind of quality of life do you have at that point?
What kind of quality of life do you have? Again, it's always the worker who should give, and it's always the few. So you want to tell me that 100 million, 200 million workers are lazy, but not the 400 people that's running this shit. Yep. They're not lazy. And all you do is go to meetings, you push paperwork, and if productivity went up in the company, again, what the hell did you do to the product to make it go up? You find out where it gets shipped out at, you find out who your suppliers are, who we gonna pay, this, that, and the third. Somebody gotta make the damn product. And then you get
taxed to death. We pay federal taxes, some people pay state taxes, you pay FICA, you pay in the Social Security. If you own a home, you got to pay taxes on your home. I mean, it's just, they tax us to death.
Yeah, with everything.
If we didn't pay all those taxes, then maybe we could afford to do something.
Because Argentina just decided that they weren't going to make you pay taxes anymore. I believe it's Argentina. I'll put that up. But yeah, they decided that they're not going to make you pay taxes.
There are a lot of countries like that.
The American people could get ahead. All it is selfishness and greed. To me, selfishness and greed. And it's the same thing when it comes to white people in America and black people in America. White people don't want blacks doing as well as they're doing. They damn sure don't want you doing better than they're doing. And that's what it boils down to. There's enough for everybody. But like the guy said, humans are the only animals that pay to live on the damn planet. Everything that the American worker does, we work harder than them. We don't get siestas like they do in Mexico. Right. And even on your time off, they want you to come in. Okay? And every time you get ahead in life a little bit, they find a way to snatch that from you.
But do you know that employers in the United States are not required to give you vacation time? They give vacation time, but that's because they choose to. They're not required to like other countries.
Well, you should be, because again, that's why there's so much depression and bullshit in America.
Oh, definitely.
And so many sicknesses and ailments predicated on the fact that you want people to just work. Other parts of the country, in the world, like you just said, they give you all this time off so that you don't burn out.
Right.
So that you're able to come back to work refreshed and motivated.
Right.
And that's a part of most companies. Motivation is low as hell.
Exactly.
People are not motivated to come in these companies and work when you got issues going at home. You may have a sick parent. You may have a sick child. You got things going on in your life. Again, 8 hours to work, 8 hours to sleep, 8 hours to live your life. And Roosevelt, president, signed the thing back in the 30s where what do they call it? The minimum wage was tied to inflation. Of course, they got rid of that. Okay. Do you know you should be making damn near $54 an hour compared to inflation today, but you making $12, $15 an hour. And people running around here talking, well, people just lazy. People just don't want to work. Okay. How much is the job paying? Well, don't worry about that. It's a great company, and we do. How much is the job paying? Remember, we drove by that one place, that oil change place, and I think they was hiring, and they was starting you out at $10 a damn hour.
Well, and I also, in one of my groups that I'm in, there here locally, there was a taco place that was needing help for overnights because they had started closing and people had started complaining about them closing.
Right.
And the reason why they were closing is because they didn't have anybody to work the overnight shift.
Exactly.
And so they posted.
What are you paying?
So $10 an hour.
What the hell are you paying?
They were paying $10 an hour.
Exactly.
And who are you going to get to work overnight for $10 an hour? People have bills to pay.
And what the hell are you going to pay at $10, even $15
You have to be a teenager living at home that is just making game money to buy you games to be working for $10 an hour.
Beer and cigarette money if you're an adult.
Because you're still not bringing that home. You're still paying into, like I said, you're still paying federal taxes, FICA, and Social Security.
Yeah.
Out of that.
And even that $500 that the auto workers are getting, that's before taxes.
That's
before taxes. So, again, the politicians was the ones screaming about shutting down the unemployment because they needed you to come in and work these jobs. Okay? Because you had
because a lot of them are employers.
Exactly. And so you got the one lady who was a CEO or whatnot at GM. And now she wants to talk about how the people should be getting paid, but that's not how she felt when she was working there. And again, it just boils down to a thing of it's all about capitalism.
Okay. The rich getting richer.
Yep. You see a lot of Americans calling them other Americans lazy because they're not working as if they have some financial investment in the plantation they work for. The ignorance is real, mine. And again, it's like you said earlier, you're going to be replaced by robots. Jobs are moved overseas or they pay less than they did before. And why would a person want to go back to the workforce and work the same job for less money? You got to pay for your mortgage, your car, truck, kids, college, and no one's talking about that. And they just want your ass slaving away. And that's all it boils down to. Free or cheap labor in America. They don't give a crap about your ass.
And they're saying, you're supposed to have 6 months worth of your bills saved up.
And America's $33 trillion in debt.
And it's like, most people live paycheck to paycheck or paycheck to almost the next paycheck.
Yeah.
Some people don't have the luxury of being able to save. They would love to have 6 months worth of savings or whatever. And insurance and all of this stuff, people are having to make choices and decisions. Everybody knows that they need insurance and stuff because people always are complaining about folks.
Look at our car insurance at our stage in life.
But sometimes you have to make a choice. Are you going to eat or are you going to pay for insurance? I mean, it's sad that you have to make decisions.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to make choices and decisions on who's getting paid and who's not.
Now, the lady I was talking about is Representative Debbie Dingell. She said, adjusted for inflation, auto workers are making 10% less compared to what they were making in 2008 and 2009. And someone stipulated, funny how she has empathy for the workers after she stopped being a GM executive. And so check her out.
Let's talk about this and, of course, the ongoing strike with Democratic Congresswoman from Michigan, Debbie Dingell. She is huge in the auto world. Her district has auto factories in it. She's also on the subcommittee for climate change as well. So, Congresswoman Dingell, really appreciate you joining us. We tried to highlight the pay in a way that others aren't. It's such a politically charged issue. Do you fear it can become almost kind of a red herring for the real issues?
I think it is a red herring for the real issues. I do believe that workers are seeing this increase in CO pay, and that does matter. But here's the reality that people really need to focus on. When 2008 and 2009 hit, and by the way, I was a GM executive at the time and left when this all happened. The workers did not want to see the companies fail. They gave up their cost of living, what we call COLA then. They have never gotten their COLA back. In real terms, they are making 10% less than they were making when you adjust for inflation than they were making in 2008 and 2009. The Wall Street expert that helped President Obama figure out what was going to happen in 2008 and 2009 to save these companies himself has said to even stay equal to where they were in 2008 and 2009, they need a 30% increase.
So yeah, this is what's going on. Are you lazy or are these people not paying shit? Can you survive on what they're paying you if you're making less? And then I remember in one show we were talking about how you said back during the Depression, how much less money we're making now than they made back then.
Right, the equivalent
compared to inflation.
Right, the equivalent of the minimum wage now compared to what their minimum wage was then. Yes, they actually was making more money than what our people are making now. But the thing is, back then they admitted that there was a depression. Right now, they're not saying anything about that.
And now you got another war that's broken out between Palestine and Israel. And now we're funding that. So look what we got going on.
Yeah, he just recently sent some Jeeps to Israel.
Yep. You got Ukraine, who getting their ass whooped, and we steady sending them money. Now you got Israel and Palestine. Now you got the migrants flooding up in here. You got homelessness just exploding because these people have jacked up the prices on rent, jacked up the prices on food, jacked up the prices on every damn thing. There's just no way to get ahead. But what's their mantra? Your ass should work harder.
And they're constantly using taxpayer money.
Yep.
I just recently came across a story where some of the Chicago Chicago folk is in Texas, and they went to visit the border. And one of the Chicago aldermen asked some questions, and he was asking them, how are y'all sending all of these people to all of these different sanctuary cities? And he was point blank told that it's 100% being funded by FEMA. So it's like, okay, so those funds that should be going to help Americans that are in trouble is going to send these migrants to different sanctuary cities.
Send them back. Send them back to wherever the fuck they come from. Round them up, put them on a plane, and ship their asses out of this fucking country. Because one thing's for certain. If Donald Trump was still president, this shit wouldn't be happening. It is the complete audacity for me, the demands that they're making. U.S. citizens don't even fucking get help from the U.S. government. We got men, women, children, and veterans who are fucking hungry, homeless, and don't have health care. It's a real simple fix. Round them up and ship their asses out. Send them back. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Now, I agree that the love should be spread out because there's no way that all of these people can be living in Texas or living in Florida because it's like several million that are coming over now over several months. So you have to kind of spread it out. But it's a shame that our taxpayer money is being depleted like this. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And
it's all a plan.
And one of the things that could severely stop all of this is Biden doing something immediately. Like Trump did.
But he don't want to because, again, you got rid of everything that Trump did to help the American people. And a lot of you sit here and say, well, Trump is this, Trump is that. Trump gave a damn. Trump started you out at an extra $600 a week in the enhanced unemployment. Then he turned around, Biden and them cut it to $300 before they finally booted it out. Totally. Because again, these corporations were screaming that they couldn't get any workers. And isn't it a damn shame that you make more money on unemployment than you do at your damn job? So why is it that you should get a raise, but I shouldn't? Just because you run the company or just because you went to college or whatever the hell. It takes everybody to make a company run. Everybody. As soon as the workers is gone. You know how we know who makes the company run? When the pandemic was here, they said only essential workers show up for work. Who showed up for work? Niggas making less than $100,000 a year. That's who showed up to work. These other people, evidently you weren't essential because you was at the house.
And the thing too is like with these restaurants, you have their waiters and waitresses that have to rely on tips in order to make it.
And that comes from slavery.
And I was going to say, that should fall back on the employers. They should have to pay these people decent wages where they do not have to rely on a tip in order to be able to make it. That's crazy.
Okay, and here's the thing. If your ass can't afford to pay your labor, which is your highest overhead, then your ass don't need to be in business. It's not incumbent upon me to help your business
And
survive.
food is not cheap at these restaurants. So they can't say that they can't afford to pay their people because, especially the ones that are doing really well.
Yeah.
You're making a lot of money. So you're only paying your people $2 to $3 an hour.
Yeah.
Because again, you're putting you're putting it on the public to have it to cover that.
Yeah.
And then now,
and that's not my job.
Watch your receipts at a lot of these places too, because they're adding these special service charges nowadays.
And a lot of people aren't catching that, and sometimes they overcharging you because they think your ass ain't paying a damn attention.
And a lot of people don't pay attention.
They sure don't.
They're not expecting to be given, these extra charges and things on their receipts. But yeah, y'all better start paying attention.
If you cannot afford to pay your employees, your ass don't need to be in business, fam. That's just flat out. I don't give a damn how you chop it up. And these people are just benefiting themselves. How much can I make? It's like you Scrooge McDuck, okay? And it's always about how much the hell you can get, not the people who are helping you stay afloat. Well, the price of everything is going up. The price of everything is going up for everybody, not just your company. Not just you, but again, you still got that private jet, huh? You still got that vacation home, huh? You still got bonuses and all kind of crap coming to you. But if these people quit making the cars, again, you're going to move to robots. AI is inevitable. Mm-hmm. I don't doubt that. Okay, you're not going to be able to save this job for your kids or for your grandkids that our parents and grandparents had when they were coming along.
Oh yeah, AI is going to be all over that.
They done shipped all the manufacturing jobs out of America. We don't make a damn thing anymore. We import all of our crap, and that's a bad way to do business, because once these people like China and them decide, okay, well, we're not going to send you this. Once they decide in Saudi Arabia that they're going to reduce the output of oil, you got other people who got your life in their hands and just don't understand. With America, it all boils down to greed. And like we stipulated in a show 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, white folk, you just the last to get hit, because you think if the jobs are shipped out, you're still going to have your cushy job, and you just the last person that don't get a damn job, because now them workers is crying on the picket line for the American auto workers, because the $500 ain't doing nothing. Your bill's starting to slip behind, and they want Fang, who is the union president, they want him to get them back to work.
Right.
And, these people are going to wait you out, because Ford and GM, they got tons of money. They still getting their checks. And what they going to try to do, like you said, is bring in the AI, the robots, and then they're going to start, that's why they're trying to get them immigrants work visas, so they can start slipping their ass in here, undercut you. If you making 30, and I understood that when the guy said it years ago, we cannot continue to pay you $30, $40 an hour to put on a hubcap. Well, if that's what the going rate is, that's what the going rate is. And maybe, just maybe, you should either make more cars or quit putting all this expensive shit in these cars. And people don't need all that. Some people just need a car to get to work. I don't need heads-up display. I don't need the seats to heat up. I don't need all this other crap, TVs in the headrest and shit.
But see, they can take their, especially with the manufacturing, companies, they can move their factories into Mexico. They could pay these people $9 an hour, no benefits. I mean, when I was union, we used to look at films and things, and there were like these sweatshops where there was no air conditioning, no heating, they maybe would have one bathroom, and there would be like hundreds of people in these buildings, and they would like pass out and stuff from the heat, and they would just move them on out the way, and everybody else just keep right on working,
because to them the worker is not an important part of the business, when a part of every company, it's the people. And these people have gotten away from that. It's the same thing with the pensions. Now they had the 401k, and you're supposed to figure out your retirement. And again, America's telling you to save. America's $33 trillion in freaking debt. Okay, but they telling you should save.
But they want you to spend, though. They want you to spend into the economy. That was one of the reasons why when they started opening everything back up from the coronavirus, it was because the economy was suffering so bad because nobody was out pumping that money into it.
Because as you walk past a Starbucks, you may pop in and get a coffee. But if you at home, you making coffee at the house.
Everybody got creative.
Yep.
You had to.
You didn't have a choice, man. So that's what that is. Please jump down in the comments. Let us know what you think. How are you making it? How are you getting along? Because all you got to do is go to the store.
You got a lot of multi-generational families. Families together. Are moving together again.
Yep. And if you look at it, I saw this one guy on YouTube last week. He showed you a basket full of food that he had bought. Back in 2020, and it came to $87. Then he took the same list. He went back to the store, and he showed you, and everything he bought that he had bought in 2020 was now $190 something damn dollars in that damn buggy. And it's like you get 3 or 4 items in your buggy, and it's $120.
Oh, it adds up quick.
Yep. Even the Dollar Tree has went up to $1.25.
And that's for some items. You could go in the Dollar Tree now, and you could find $5 items, $6 items. Yeah, so hey, it's hit everybody.
So how are you getting along? How are you surviving? What's happening where you live? The price of everything. His rent went up. People's rent has been going up 30, 40, 50%. And you're building these houses, and it's like the lady said, you want me to pay you $2,500 a month for a cardboard box with a hole cut in the side of it. But let us know what you think. Let us know what's going on with you. Big shout out to KYBNradio.com.
Hey, Dr. Ramsey and the crew.
To the good people who listen to us out there, we greatly appreciate you. Entertainment report?
Yes.
Time now for your pushgapradios.com Jackie O entertainment report. What you got?
Yes. Now, speaking of jobs, there is a job posting that has been put on all of the employment sites, so it has been verified that it is legitimate.
Okay.
iHeartRadio is looking for a co-host to join the Breakfast Club.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, because what's her name? Angela Yee?
She left a year ago.
Yeah.
But the thing is that everybody is thinking that, since all of this stuff is going on with DJ MB.
Hell yeah, somebody got to replace his ass.
But the thing is, DJ MB ain't gone nowhere yet.
He going. Him and Trump going to be right next door to each other.
Well, he and his partner have been accused of having a real estate scheme where they was scamming people out of their money. Although DJ Envy is saying that he was also a victim of this because he's saying that he invested $500,000 of his own money, and he didn't see any returns either. So what they were doing is having people investing in this real estate scheme, and they were supposed to, get returns on their money, and none of these people got a return on their money. And it's been over $1 million that has been taken so far. And
I heard he rolled over on the dude.
He did. He started telling everything that he knew and everything that he thought he knew.
Put tight shoes on a nigga. They'll tell everything.
Because
Richard Pryor said.
DJ Envy say he not trying to go to jail either. But with this guy, he was going on. He would always have him on the Breakfast Club show. And he would always let this guy promote this business. So that's one of the reasons why his name is tied into it. And this guy's name is Cesar. It's hard for me to say Cesar Pena. And so
you're crook.
There were rumors that the iHeart Studios had been raided on this past Friday and saying that they had gotten computers and all that stuff. But all of that turned out to be rumors. But when this post came up about being a programming operations person, then everybody started assuming that DJ Envy was being fired and that this position was posted to replace him. But then some folk are saying that no, it's the same one that they posted shortly after Angela left,
right?
And that they're reposting it because now they're trying to take the show in a different direction.
Yeah,
and so
you got to get away from the criminal aspect that DJ Envy been slapping up there. I think he was a part of it. I think he knew.
He was a part of it.
I'm not going to even sit here and cap. I think you knew, nigga.
Yeah, he knew. He had to have known.
Mm-hmm.
But he, he's playing innocent.
Hell yeah, that's how you got to do it.
Trying to stay out of jail.
Deny.
But so far they haven't arrested him, so he must be doing pretty good so far. But I think eventually they're gonna get him though.
Yeah.
But but this job is paying between $240,000 and $330,000 a year.
I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring.
Yeah, but we'll have to post a link to one of them so you can see what the qualifications are and all of that.
I don't give a damn what the quals is, mine. I'm gonna commute. From Dallas to New York.
To New York.
You damn skippy.
Because that's what some people were saying. They was like, $240,000 to $330,000 in New York is not a lot of money.
Not really.
They're saying because the cost of living in New York is so
highest
expensive
in America.
that's nothing.
Yeah.
And but of course it comes with other benefits and perks and all of that stuff too. But then they're also saying that it could be a possibility that if for replacement for Charlemagne, because Charlemagne, they're saying, is in the running to be host for what's that show that Trevor Noah was?
Yeah, The Daily Show.
Yeah, The Daily Show. They're saying
I don't know if Charlemagne gonna have as much swag as Noah had. Trevor Noah was hysterical.
He was.
Yeah, my boy Roy Wood. And now they got Ronnie Chang on there. Ronnie Chang was the guy who said black people are the only ones who own their own racial slur. What's up, my chinks?
I like Trevor, but Trevor, decided he wanted to go back to doing stand-up comedy, so he left to go do his thing. But I haven't heard much from him since then, though. So
I'm probably taking a break.
Maybe.
You get tired of you niggas.
Maybe. I can't blame him. For you old schoolers that remember Freddie Jackson and Club Nouveau and Chubb Rock, well, they're all coming out with new music.
Really?
Yeah. Freddie apparently just recently lost his mom.
Yeah.
And so he is coming out with a new song that's going to be dedicated to his mom.
Right.
And then Club Nouveau and Chubb Rock, they're collaborating.
Chubb Rock jumps up on the scene with a dream and a hardcore dream. The dream of the drafted to be pornographic.
I remember his name, but I don't know.
I'll play it for you after the show, baby. Yeah. Chubb Rock. When Chubb Rock dropped, boy, that joint there was banging.
I'm sure I danced to some of his stuff in some of my clubbing days. But again, like I told you, I used to know the song, but not the
artist.
Exactly. Jada Pinkett Smith. I know we're all tired of hearing about Jada Pinkett Smith, but this lady, I tell you.
Hold on real quick. Let me play this song this lady made about Jada real quick. Here we go.
Now, Jada, lately you've been saying a lot, and we all think that it's time you finally come to a stop, because you've been telling us some things that we ain't asked you about, and we don't want to know whether it's the truth or it's not. Now, we get it. You still in love with Tupac, but whether you know it or not, girl, we all is in love with Tupac. But we also love us some Will, and we don't really like the way that you be making them feel. Chill. I mean, I'm offended, and I ain't even in it. You be talking this man business like this man ain't got no feelings. Like you don't care about his mental health or his healing. You value a man that died more than a man that's living. It's selfish and distasteful. It's like if you ain't break them down yet, you looking to find a way to. Losing respect for the things you do, but they would've canceled Will if he did it to you. It's like his feelings never sit with you. It's like his marriage wasn't nothing but an interview. It's like you living up to what men say are true, that some women ain't shit too.
Okay, yeah, mine. She made that from the theme song of Fresh Prince, baby. And I just thought that was hysterical. Go ahead.
She, in her book, I have people that say that, they thought they were just going to read, little snippets of it and then put it down. But just said that, excerpts. As they kept reading, things gems kept dropping.
Yeah.
She tries to say that at the very beginning that she was attracted to the street life. So she used to sell drugs, and she thought that was, the way to do things to start out.
Right.
Then she tells about how her and Tupac were really, really close. They were really good friends.
You've been seeing the memes about her and Tupac.
Yeah,
she was in the car with it.
Yeah.
Once somebody said, hell, now Jada talking about she the one who birthed Tupac. She is mama.
She is something else. She's saying that during they were real close friends, didn't ever take it there personally, except one time they tried to kiss, but it just grossed them both out. But she's saying that when Tupac was arrested, he proposed to her while he was locked up and said that his freedom depended on her answer. Yeah. And she just didn't feel that way for him intimately, so she had to turn him down. It was like, sure, Jada.
Sure, Jada.
And then she was like, when
Miss me with that.
and then she was like, when he got shot, she just knew that he was gonna make it, because she was keeping in constant contact with his mom. Yeah. And his mom, she was so convinced that again he was gonna make it and everything, so that when he died, it was a shock. But it's like this little lady right here. And
people
then
sick of Jada. People sick of her and the Tupac thing. And
it's crazy.
It just comes down to a thing that people are just sick of hearing it. And all you doing, to me and to most people, is you're just trying to defy will. You're just trying to defile the man's name. I think it comes out of, and I'm going to let you continue. I just think it comes out of envy. Understand something. There's a difference between jealousy and envy. Jealousy is I have something that you yourself can get. A house, a car, a job, whatever. Envy is not DJ envy, crooked ass. Envy is I have something you'll never get. You'll never be a Supreme Court justice. You'll never be CEO of General Motors. You'll never be president. And I think she hates the fact that she doesn't have the fame and popularity that Will has. And I think that's kind of what ticks her off as well.
Well,
that's just my opinion.
And to wrap it up with her, she, the real big thing here recently was the big bombshell that she dropped was the fact that her and Will have been separated since 2016.
Got that book coming out,
and so it was so many memes, and so she got such a backlash from that because she had a sit down with Hoda Kotb is the one that she was telling. Hoda is she's on the Today Show and the morning show, and she
NBC.
does and they did a special where her and Jada sit down to talk about the book, and Jada came out with all these revelations, especially the one about her and Will being separated since 2016. Well, on last Monday, they say that Jada, as good as she felt, she was so over the media and everybody scrutinizing her and just all over her about, the fact that her and Will, she say, had been separated all that time, saying that they were divorced but not legally divorced, and saying that she would never legally divorce him because of a promise that she made him prior to them getting married.
It's just cheaper to keep her on Will's part.
His people wanted her to sign a prenup. And when he went to her with that, she was like, no, I'm not going to start my marriage by predicting that it's going to end.
Because you knew Will was box office gold.
So she wouldn't sign the prenup.
Yeah.
And so she said that she vowed to him that she would never divorce him. And so that's the reason why she's saying that she's not going to divorce Will, because she made that promise and she's going to stick to that promise. Well, then
you love that lifestyle you live in.
On last Monday, she stormed back up to the Today Studios, uninvited, unannounced, and demanded to be interviewed again because she wanted to clear up a few things. And so, of course, that was gold for the Today Show. So they set her and Hoda down on the couch and let them talk. And so she wanted to clear up some things and said that, she think that Hoda misunderstood what she said and was letting everybody know that her and Will are closer than ever and that they're trying to work things out and all of that. And Hoda was looking so confused, bless her heart, but she was being very professional. And she was like, wait a minute, so let me get this right. And she was trying to clarify, and you could tell, and it was like, oh my goodness, That is narcissism to its finest. But so we're done with Miss Jada. And
okay, well that's it. We're down to the wire here. So go on, log yourself out. I be telling you, it's been 10 years and you still don't have.
Well, and then, babe, you put your part. You put your 3 minutes in it too. But this has been Jackie O with your Push Gap Radio Entertainment Report.
Yeah, at some point we're gonna get to making you an individual deal so you can get it all out.
Yes, because I be having other stuff to be talking about.
I understand. We only got so much time. Okay.
I didn't talk about the BMF folks. None of that.
I know. We'll try to make more time for you on next week. Thank you for hanging out with Shaka 401 and Jackie O. Again, pop down. Let us know what you think. First off, is Jada full of that bullshit? That's what I would like to know. Okay.
Jada say don't do her.
Second of all, how are you living? Where you live? How are you living? How are you making it? How many jobs are you working? How many people in your household have more than one job? Are you struggling with life? Do you think you need to work harder? Or do you think you need to be compensated for your labor? Never average, never mediocre, online, on point, and on the freaking money. In Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth, we're pushgapradios.com. Pushgapradios.com. Dallas, baby.
And we're out. Yeah, right on.